Welcome to Seclusion Vibe. The Honda Element is a great vehicle for car camping, but it's not perfect. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the advantages and disadvantages of owning an Element with a focus on car camping. As usual, I don't have any long introductions or garbage music overlays. Let's get going. First up are advantages. For camping and accessing the vehicle, it has a very open setup. Honda eliminated the B-pillars, those being the columns most vehicles have between the front and rear doors, for those not familiar. Also, the Element has a tailgate. Now, you can paint my neck red in the comment section if you like, but whether you're a bird watcher, a bird hunter, a camper, a starstruck lover, just plain lazy, or, obviously, a tailgater, I think that this is a great feature. The Element is a low emissions vehicle, so it has less impact on the environment, and can also sometimes get you a better parking spot at places like a LEED certified building you may work at, or at a more progressive grocery store. Buying one painted green does not hurt either. I have never been questioned on my environmental credentials when driving this vehicle. Inside, it has a very simple and intuitive control layout. You have an older style 12-volt cigarette lighter charger, which I have my USB cables hooked up to right now, as well as an auxiliary input for your music. This one is too old for Bluetooth or direct USB. This is a great car for taller drivers. There's enough headroom for somebody well over 6 feet or 1.8 meters tall, though that's not an issue for me. Honda put great sound systems into many models from the factory. At least on most EX models, you get a surprisingly large subwoofer. So if you want to turn up National Public Radio and really bump it with Terry Gross, this is the car for you. For what it is, the Element also handles very well. When Honda eliminated the B-pillar between the front and rear doors, they went to great lengths to ensure structural stability. This led the Element to perform about as well as even some high-end European sports cars of the same year when tested on the skid plate. Some have said that Honda may have even over-engineered this vehicle. You get all-wheel drive, at least on some models. Honda's all-wheel drive is unique on this vehicle in that the front wheels mechanically actuate pumps to start turning the rear wheels if the front ones start to slip. It's sort of a cross between four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. It's good on rough roads and in many inclement weather scenarios. In terms of disadvantages, we'll go right back to the all-wheel drive. This is still a very basic system. For the most part, you're driving a front-wheel drive vehicle with rear wheels that will kick in when necessary. There's a slight delay, so you often get some tire skid. This is not a four-wheel drive like a Jeep or a real-time all-wheel drive system such as that you would find on a modern Subaru. And the clearance on the vehicle is good, but not great. The bottom line is that if you're driving an Element, you're not in some type of four-wheeler. Also, while the Element is generally a very safe vehicle to drive, the elimination of the B-pillar did decrease its safety rating in the event of a side impact collision. The Element sits at the bottom of a bell curve in terms of power and efficiency. It has adequate power, okay for me, and I am used to driving much faster sports cars, but it is just barely adequate. In terms of fuel efficiency, it's rated at about 18 to 21 miles per gallon, which is decent for a compact SUV of its shape and especially its weight, but nothing to write home about. And if you fully load it for camping, I guarantee you will be getting less than 18 miles per gallon. Next is seating. With the ability to fold up or remove the rear seats, you lose a middle fifth spot in the back, so you are limited to 4 people. Or for the rougher crowd, I'll say limited to 4 seatbelts. Speaking of rear seating, The back of the vehicle lacks footwells, so adults, especially taller ones, may find their legs bent up at an uncomfortable angle. The rear seats are also mounted higher than rear seats in most vehicles. Some passengers prefer this as they have a better view of the road out of the front of the vehicle, but others find it disorienting or even nauseating. I personally like the higher seating. Next up is cost. Honda Elements are a hot commodity on the used market. Some are cheap to come by, but the good ones are not. If you really want one, expect to pay more than you would for a normal vehicle of its age and type. Mileage is another issue. People who own Honda Elements tend to drive them a lot. Finding a decent one with low mileage is becoming increasingly challenging. Finally, catalytic converter theft. For those not familiar, the catalytic converter is the part on the exhaust system that uses filaments of very valuable metals to burn pollutants out of the exhaust gas before it exits the car so that the car runs cleaner. The element may not be that fast or that efficient, but it is very clean. Honda installed an exceptionally large catalytic converter on the vehicle, and between the size of this converter and the clearance the vehicle has, it is very commonly targeted by thieves. Replacing a catalytic converter through the dealership can cost over $5,000. Going through a private shop and using an aftermarket part will bring that down into the hundreds. Regardless, I would recommend installing a protective shield around your converter if you own an Element. One disadvantage I forgot. The rear of the vehicle can get quite hot if you have a sunroof in the back. Honda did make a cover which you can install. I did. I used to have one, but it was stolen out of the vehicle. The thieves probably had no idea that was the most valuable thing that they were getting, as those sunroof covers are impossible to find on the market these days. I'm probably just going to go ahead and make one of my own. The Element does have rear AC, but it is not great. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, if you're not as experienced, if you're more of a beginner like I frankly am, please put those down below in the comment section. If you're more experienced, if you're one of the old graybeards, and you have comments or criticism, you think I left something out that I should have included or said something wrong, please put those down in the comment section as well. I have very thick skin. Please basically put anything down there that would not be defined as a rant, a screed, a manifesto, legally obscene, or anything that the newspapers would describe you as a lone wolf for saying. Anyhow, if your disadvantages overcome your advantages out there and you break down or get lost on the trail, we might run into each other.